Hey everyone, Mark Cookrow.
Adrian Ike.
I want to talk to you today about two videos that came out this week. Actually, two unbelievable videos that I can't even believe took place, and it was with the treatment of a student. So the first one was an academy in Brazil where a purple belt choked out a white belt and didn't honor the tap and didn't let go. And then while he was still semi-unconscious, they dragged him and then jumped back on him and kept training. And then sure enough, the next day, there's another video of an instructor picking up a student over his head and body slamming him on the mat. And I have to tell you, as an instructor, that is absolutely unacceptable, uncalled for, unprofessional, and I don't understand how anyone could think that that's a good idea. I mean, so you teach most of the kids' classes. Could you imagine, like, if the parents were sitting in the lobby and you took their 10-year-old, 12-year-old, even 14, and you picked them up and slammed them?
Uncalled for.
Like, I mean, and then you just looked at them and said, oh, it makes them tougher.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between being tough and abusing your student. Absolutely. And man,
I can't even imagine what I would say if someone did that to my child, or even to me. Like, I wouldn't even do that. Let me tell you, I've been training half my life. I wouldn't even do that if a student asked me to do it. Now, I understand tradition. I was in the military, jumped out of airplanes, you get your blood wings, and there's a lot of like hardcore kind of mindset towards honoring people, like a rite of passage almost. Like the gauntlet is one of them, where you whip people with belts. But there's a difference between honoring tradition and doing something like a cross choke, they let go, congratulations, choke them with a belt, hip throw. When tradition crosses the line into abuse and hazing, it's unacceptable. And to me, the bottom line is parents, they trust us with their kids, they trust us with the adults trust us with their joints, and we're supposed to make people strong. And I've heard this argument, I don't know if you've heard it, but it makes people tough mentally and physically. And I don't know about you, but I would like to see one shred of evidence that shows beating somebody or abusing them makes them stronger mentally and tough, mentally or physically. I mean, it just can't happen. I mean, so seriously, if I said run the gauntlet, it's going to make you mentally tougher.
I would fear promotion, right? Like, why would you want your next belt if you have to go through that kind of treatment?
I mean,
really, it's not tough.
You don't even know what to say, right?
Yeah, it's like,
it's crazy is what it is. And listen, man, let me tell you, you talk to people that are really good and they're great at what they do. Let me tell you, if running someone through a gauntlet, smashing them, picking them up and throwing them down, not honoring the tap, if that made people better, every elite athlete and sports team would be doing something like that. It doesn't help at all. Now, when it comes to the culture of your academy as instructors, and this is just my input, and you can do whatever you want, but if you are an instructor that thinks that kind of thing is okay, it's really not. And I have never in my life, and maybe you have had a different experience, but I've never in my life seen an academy that has that culture flourish. It's almost always a small group of people with this toxic negative culture, and then over time that group gets smaller and smaller. Now, in those two videos, the first one where the kid didn't let go of the tap, people are standing around like it's just another day, like it's normal. So what that tells me is that is a generally accepted practice. And then the other one where the guy picks him up and slams him, the kid rolls over to the side and people are clapping, like applauding.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Joe, do me a favor, slam my kid on the mat, I'm going to applaud. What?
I mean, as an instructor, you're supposed to lead by example. If the instructor's doing that, why wouldn't another student do that to another student? And then you get injuries left and right, people getting slammed, knocked out, and then that's the kind of culture you create. That's going to spread, and it's not in a positive way.
It just doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody with anything. Now, if you want to have traditions, and I think we should all have traditions because they tie us to our past, but they can't cross the line of hazing and abuse. And, I just want you, if you're an instructor, I want you to really think about this and ask yourself, does doing that actually help the student? Like, what's the benefit? And there really isn't one that I can think of. I don't know of a single one. I mean, can you think of a benefit of getting hit with a belt to the point where you wake up the next day and you have whip marks all over you?
I cannot.
I mean, if you get hit like this, hey, congratulations, it doesn't hurt.
Not one bit.
That's a tradition, right? But beating the person until their back is swollen and full of bruises for 2 weeks, come on, that's too much. So I can tell you this as a student, if you're looking into a jiu-jitsu academy, make sure you pick a place, you find an instructor and an academy and a culture that respects you, that looks out for you, that doesn't want to maliciously injure you every time you roll. That you're, as a student, your most important thing is to show up and be in a safe environment. Your most important concern. After that, you keep showing up and you get better and better and better and better. But you know, we have hundreds of people here, and I can tell you, you're never going to have a big academy if you do that. So I just want to say, for me personally, and I know from you, that that type of behavior is completely unacceptable in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. So that's my 2 cents on it. Please take out of this conversation what you will, but put it to good use, because the bottom line is we're obligated, I feel very obligated, to be the best role model, to lead by example, to eat healthy food, to make sure that you're a positive and encouraging person that multiplies the strengths in people until they're confident and competent on their own. And if you are not doing that, then there's a lot of room for improvement. So if you're an instructor, please make sure that you're the person that everybody hopes they get to train with because you're such a good example, not the person that they're stuck with training or the person that they fear to train with. So that's my 2 cents on Mark Kikro.
Adrian Ike.
Thanks for watching. Take good care.